What's up, you guys? I haven't been on here in hella long, but I got an idea. Because I was watching this one dude, and he was talking about zodiac signs, bro. And he was talking about basically his videos are why I hate zodiac signs, and that just kind of gave me an idea of wanting to do a series that's based on zodiac signs. Now, mine is not gonna be why I hate zodiac signs. Because, if you guys know me, I'm like really big on energy and vibrations. And I feel like if you put the word hate, it's just going to bring hate to you and it's going to bring hate out of you. But I do want to talk about my experiences with different zodiac signs. So, this first one right here is going to be on Virgos, right? And I already wrote a little bit of notes, but I kind of like to go off the top a little bit. But I am going to put a little bit of notes. Bro, like on his channel, he said he had like 15, 20 pages of notes. I'm like, nah, I would rather kind of go off memory because that's just too much effort to sit there and write down 15, 20 pages. Because he, like how he's doing it, which he like on another level type shit. He's an Aquarius and he waits, like he observes, like people watches. So he'll like observe you know, the specific zodiac sign he's talking to online. He'll observe them like in real life and he'll just make notes like based on observing them. I'm like, that's a lot of energy. So, and his videos would come out like 2, 3 months after each other because he would literally sit there and have like pages of notes. Me, I'm not gonna do that. I got like 2, 3 pages right here, and then I'm just gonna go off top because I can kind of remember stuff. Because how my memory works is basically like I have selective memory. So it'd be like you talk about a certain topic, it makes me remember certain stuff from my childhood. That's just how my memory is. It's weird. Um, but it's hard for me to remember like simple stuff. It'd be like you ask me something like what did I eat yesterday or something. I probably can't remember it most of the time. Because I always have brain fog, and it's really mostly because I already know the reason why I have it. I watch too much YouTube all day. Like I just brain rot myself too much. And I'll be trying to study too much stuff at once, and I'm thinking of too many things that I want to accomplish at one time. So I get kind of an overload all the time. I'm always constantly mentally overloaded, but I've been trying to teach myself recently, like, that's just how it is. That's just life. You're going to be, for me specifically, because everybody's not the same. But that's just for me, because I want to do a lot of things. I want to accomplish a lot of things. I want to be a rapper, or a singer, or a dancer. I want to be good at exercising. I want to leave a legacy and leave my fantasy novel behind. I want to write multiple fantasy novels. It's like I'm very overly ambitious, and even my brain sometimes is just like too overly ambitious because I can picture myself doing all of these different things. But it's like, bro, like when are you gonna have the time to do all that? You don't have 75 lifetimes to be able to do that. But I told myself basically that I'm just gonna start doing literally everything I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to leave behind like a giant legacy of stuff that people can kind of just go back and just read and watch and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So basically, and that's why I want to get rid of my brain fog too, because I'm like, I want to be understood as best as possible. Like, I want you guys to clearly understand where I'm coming from, even if it's specifically from your perspective. I want you to at least kind of, to a certain degree, know the emotions or the thoughts that I was thinking. Now, of course, it's going to be, like I said, from your perspective, you're not going to be able to go inside my mind and truly, fully comprehend or understand who and what I am. Because we can't do that with people. No matter how much we sit down, talk to people, and try to understand them 1,000%, like you're just not going to understand a person 1,000%, because everybody is different. Everybody has a different thought process. Everybody has a different perspective. Everybody went through different things. Everybody has a different childhood. Even though our childhoods are similar, they're very different. So it is what it is because you're molded by your childhood, you're molded by your past, you're molded by what you believe your future is going to be, and you're molded by your present. Um, there was something else I was gonna say before I even start the video. Cause I'm doing a big introduction. I like to kind of go off the top, and talk about stuff before I get to the main topic. There was something else I was gonna say. Oh, this is something I was thinking about recently. Ignore the trash truck in the background, the garbage truck in the background. Um, this is something I was thinking. High school, I would say, influences your future more than your childhood. Meaning, when people say childhood, I always think about like your early years of development in childhood. So, like, from when you're a baby up to when you're like 10. That's usually what I think of when I hear childhood. And then, when people talk about your teenage years, they usually, they'll say your teenage years. Because childhood is always me picturing when you're under the age of like 12. But I would say that high school influences your whole life because people always constantly talk about high school. I hear them talk about it all the time, and I talk about it a lot. I think high school is a very big thing that influences people's future, and it's a lot of the whole regret thing, or the what if, or the what if I would have did this, what if I would have did that. The whole regret or wishing you can go back to change things. Um, I got another video coming about that because there's like a video. Uh, there's literally a dude went back. He's 25 years old and went back to high school to play basketball. I really want to talk about that, so that's probably gonna come up right after this video. But sorry for the long introductions and the long yapping. But let's get into Virgos. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys my experience with Virgos. So I do have to say this, put a little disclaimer. I wrote this in my notes. So when you're looking into zodiac signs, remember zodiac signs is just for fun. Okay, don't take what I'm saying too seriously. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay, I can be 1,000% wrong about you. Remember, this is all assumptions. This could be completely different than how you actually are as an individual. Also, remember, if you do believe um, in zodiac signs, there are many factors to take into account. Remember, it depends on the time, day, and place and month. For example, January Aquariuses usually are different from February Aquariuses. It also depends on if you are a man or a woman. Virgo men and women are completely different, and I try to use examples from my real life. So here are some examples of Virgos I've dealt with. Now, I will say this: the women are usually better people altogether. I'm just gonna be honest. They're usually more polite. You're not usually irritated by a Virgo woman. Virgo women have a way of being very pleasant to be around. They're very easy to talk to, very good listeners. The odds of them cutting you off when you're talking is extremely low. Like, they genuinely care about what you're talking about and genuinely want to learn what you're talking about, and they are very good at observing. This is the women, okay? Usually, from now, this is from my experience. I've worked with a lot of Virgos. Matter of fact, I think all my jobs had Virgo women in them. I didn't even think about that. Um, and it does depend on their age on how they act. Okay. Um, the first Virgo, this is my first job. The first Virgo woman I met was older than me. I think she was like 25 or something. And this is when I was like 20. So she's like 32 now or something like that. Math is not my strong suit, even though they say Aquarius is, we're good at math. That's BS. We're good at like English. I'm good at English. I'm like a master at English and writing and talking. Um, but math, I am a complete slow sloth. Okay, it is a sin. It's a sin that I'm so bad at math. All right, but the first Virgo I worked with, she was very mature. Like, Virgo women are very mature. They can come off as immature at first, depending on what type of Virgo they were. She was a Virgo white girl, really beautiful white. Like, she was like gorgeous. Probably about 5'4", 5'3", and I had to like live in a house with her, and she complained a lot and whined a lot. But she, I seen the goodness in her because when I lived in this house with these people were like bullies and like really disrespectful and rude, but they made it seem like I was a bully. But it was like they would like gang up on me and bully me, and then talk about how I have a bad attitude. But it's like they were always trying to bully me. It was freaking annoying as hell. And I usually would just stay in my room and not even talk to nobody because of that. But again, they were human beings. I forgive them or whatever. Because a lot of them, it was like they eventually kind of came out their shell and actually started having conversations with me, and I got to actually know them a little bit. But with her, she was kind of whiny or whatever. She was bisexual, and she started out being kind of whiny and kind of kind of stressful to deal with. But later on, I remember I said something. It wasn't even necessarily rude. Like Aquariuses, we say the truth, and us saying the truth pisses people off a lot of the time. And I remember it was like she was getting on my nerves just like everybody else because they were like ganging up on me all the time. I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm not a victim type. I'm just telling you what they did. And I said something about her, and she like heard me. And instead of her like, and I observed this so hard, and I like respect her for it. Instead of her like trying to go in on me or crash out on me, literally the next day she was like, "Hey," she's like, "Do you want to come with me, and we can go to what was it, Chipotle?" And I was just like, "Okay." And me and her like hung out the whole day, and it was like super chill. She let me like talk, didn't cut me off, and like genuinely got to know me. Um, we even went to like Walmart. It was like me and her and these like other two guys. We ended up going to Walmart and buying like Pokemon cards, and it was like the chillest, coolest day. And it was a really good day because of her. Like she made it a good day. Instead of her like bashing me, she could have crashed out on me if she wanted to. She literally, you can tell she thought about it for a minute. She went to her room. You could tell she went downstairs to her room, in her room, thought about it, and was like, why would he say that? He usually the quiet type. Like you could tell she's very logical for a woman. And instead of her like crashing out on me, she literally let me into her car, which I always give women props if they go somewhere alone with a man. You know what I'm saying? So I give her props for that because it takes a lot of bravery and confidence and to get into a car with a man alone because you never know a man's intentions. Some men are like super evil and do horrible things to women. So I gave her props for that because that takes bravery and confidence. And then she was just nice, listening to me. She made the day better. That's how Virgos is, bro. At least from my perspective. Now she was a younger Virgo, a little bit older than me, so it made me like her. It changed my whole perspective on her as a person. And this is before I was like into zodiac signs like that, but it changed my whole perspective on her and made me like her more just based on that because it took a lot of maturity for her to do that, especially when everybody else was just being rude to me and just kind of bullying me. So I give her props for that. Um, so my experience with her was good. I worked with a lot of Virgos because I worked in a daycare, and about half the women there were Virgos. It was like three or four of them were Virgos. I was cool as hell with literally all of them. They were funny and they were cool. There was one that was like pregnant. She was like this really pretty light skinned Virgo, super cool lady. There was this like bigger one. She was like a white lady. She was cool. That was my homie. She was so cool, bro. And it's like most of my memories with Virgo women is like they're cool as hell, bro. Like all three of them were like the coolest women I ever met, honestly. Like I have nothing negative to say about them at all, to be honest. Um, because like I'll say about 97% of the time, the women are cool as hell, and even when they get on your nerves, it's like they know how to. I don't even care if it's manipulation. It's good manipulation. I always say if the manipulation is positive, then it's like I'll take that. So like positive manipulation, if you can make me feel good, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, I'll take that. I take that because everybody is manipulating. Everybody is putting on a show. It is what it is. So all three of them, amazing women. Um, if you guys want to hear more stories about that, about like my jobs and stuff, let me know. I'll tell more stories about that. Who else? Let me see. That's three Virgos down. The light skinned one was black, by the way. Like some white people don't know what light skin means. But light skin means she was light skinned black. And she had swag to her too. I will say this: a lot of Virgos are bisexual, or they have had like the women, and they've had like experiences with other women. They talk about it a lot, so a lot of them ain't straight. Do I have anything else in the notes? Let me see. Yeah, I basically said when Virgos are your coworkers or friends, Virgo women, they are literally the kindest and sweetest, non-judgy type of people, which is 100% true. But also, like I said, I also believe it's because I'm an Aquarius, and it's like I take what you're doing into account. Meaning, it's like I look at you and I see, okay, did you do this to make me feel good? Did you do this to make me feel bad? It's like I'm very like unbiased, pretty much, because I look at it as like if you did this and you put in the effort to do this, I'm giving you props for that. Like it is what it is. All I ask for effort for you to be nice to me. That's it. You know, because a lot of people are just rude as hell towards me for like literally no reason, and it's mostly because they judge me based on like body language, I guess, which is why a lot of the time I have to, act super nice so they understand like, okay, he's a nice guy. And then I could be silent as much as I want, as long as they know I'm like polite when they talk to me. I had to start putting on a smile. I had to start doing that because for the longest time it was like I would just be like, and they take this face right here. Y'all see this? They'll take that as like you being angry for some reason. This is an angry face, but they'll take this as an angry face. I don't know why most people think that way. It just is what it is. Let me check my time. 16 minutes. Okay. So it is what it is. This video is probably going to be like, I might make it like 40 minutes. It is what it is. If the camera lets me, because this camera is annoying and it be cutting out and stuff. But yeah. So those are some good experiences. I'm trying to think, what else? Um, there's other Virgo women I've met. Oh, I can even use examples from like online. Like online, Virgo women are usually the ones who are like comment on like my TikTok videos, like on my old ones, not the new ones. If you check the new ones, I ain't got that many comments from women. My old TikTok, there was like a Virgo woman. I told her she was like beautiful or something. She actually responded to the comment. See, Virgo women actually like nice guys and polite guys. I will say that. I do think that's 100% true. And they're not really picky about how you look. Now, I've watched other videos of dudes saying that Virgo women are picky and they're feminist types and all. I haven't seen that. Even the dark skinned black Virgo women have been super duper nice to me. So I don't know, bro. Guys will say all this stuff, but from my experience, I tell you truthfully what I've gone through. The dark skinned Virgo women have been nice to me. The light skinned Virgo women have been nice to me. The white Virgo women have been nice to me. So I don't know. Now, other dudes have said that Virgo women are like the feminist type. Um, if you when they say feminist type, if they mean like wanting to be respected, I could see that. Like Virgo women don't really like disrespect, absolutely, but they've never come off as like, like them annoying, all in your face types. Like I haven't seen that for me personally. It is what it is because Virgo women, like I said, they're very logical women. So they usually are not going to do that. Even when it's their time of the month, they're still very logical. Um, Now I have met some Virgo women that are crash outs. I ain't gonna say which ones, but I do know two of them that are crash outs. But they cool now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk about them because they close. I know them. You know what I'm saying? Friends and family and whatnot. So I ain't gonna talk about them. Um, but yeah, I would say over time, I would always say every single Virgo, even the crash out ones, are really good listeners. Like really good observers, really good listeners, and they like when you talk to them. And if you're cool and nice towards them, they're usually cool and nice towards you. And they're not gonna usually switch up unless you switch up and start acting weird. I'm just saying from my experience. Now I've had guys say that women switch up on them all the time. It's like, yeah, that's just kind of a woman thing though. Like women are gonna switch up on dudes they don't really know. So it's like if you're a dude, this is why I always say don't. I'm getting off track, but I like getting off track. It's fun. Yay. If you're a man, you never want to take rejection too seriously because I mean, think about it. You have to look from a woman's perspective every single time. Why do you think she did that? Maybe she found a dude she liked more, which is not a bad thing. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she found a dude she liked more. Maybe she one of them type of women that got 10 dudes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she just confused. Sometimes women go through an overload of not being able to choose which man they like the most. It's just that's problems they have. A lot of men don't got that problem. But women have problems like that. Maybe she found a dude who just treated her nicer. Maybe she likes douchey dudes. Maybe she likes nice dudes. Like women, Women are all different, honestly. They similar, but they all pretty different on what they like. Some women do like assholes. Some women do like bullies. Some